You like someone, there's a spark, and you want to move forward. But wait, some things just don't sit right with you. Could they be red flags? How can you tell? Well, today I'm here to help you out. I'm your personal wingman. Today we're going over some common red flags, things to look out for and be wary of. If you see these signs, it might be a bad indication. Number one, in no specific order, they lie often. Put it very bluntly, how can you expect loyalty and commitment from someone who can't even give you the truth? We've all lied at some point, and for some really silly things, but that's not the point, because lying is a problem. How can you make plans with someone if you don't know where they are, when they're coming, how they're getting there, if they're lying about the logistics? Especially if they lie about really big things like finances. They lie about how much debt they're in or the car that they own. Like, these are pretty big things. You're going to find out eventually. Deceiving you about these things is like a really bad sign. How can you do something with someone? How can you start a life with someone if you can't even get the facts? Especially if they're caught lying and they continue to lie. Because what that just shows is that not only are they dishonest, but they don't have integrity either. Telling the truth is an important part of just good character, and you don't need to be a licensed clinical psychologist to see why lying frequently is a bad sign. Number two, anger management problems. If someone can't manage their natural emotions, then how can you expect them to live with you and weather through life together? If someone has low tolerance to things and stress, then that might not be a good sign. If the slightest inconvenience gets them worked up or pisses them off, then they're in for a really rough life. Because it really isn't the end of the world if you didn't get any white sauce on your gyro. Life is full of inconveniences. Struggles are inevitable. But if your partner is getting riled up all the time, then it's going to affect you too. It's going to make you agitated. The more time you spend with someone, the more alike you become. This is called the social proximity effect. Your habits will become like those around you. Extreme anger might also be an indication of someone who might harm you in the future. Like, for example, if someone is violent to objects and pets, for example, then this could very well be antisocial personality disorder. Actually, a legitimate psychiatric disorder. Because those who engage in animal cruelty were 3 times more likely to commit other crimes like murder, rape, assault, harassment, robbery, threats, drug and substance abuse. I'm not saying that just because someone's angry a lot that they have a psychiatric disorder. I'm just saying that this is an extreme case of anger turning out to be something bad. Number 3, they neglect your feelings and put you down constantly. If you're spending the rest of your life with someone, you best hope that they care about your feelings. If someone is constantly criticizing you, even if it's with jokes, it can negatively affect your self-esteem. It's emotional abuse. For example, if someone says, "You're lucky I'm still with you because you'll never find anyone better than me," or "You sound so ridiculous when you try to be funny." A 2013 study found that emotional abuse can be just as harmful as physical abuse because both can lead to depression and low self-esteem. You should definitely address this with your partner and mention that their constant criticism is hurting your self-esteem and it's bothering you. If someone doesn't acknowledge your feelings or take them seriously, then maybe they're not ready for a partnership. Number 4, they lack open communication and they avoid difficult conversations. If someone becomes passive-aggressive, blames you for things, and is aggressive with their emotions, that means they have pretty ineffective communication. Communication is one of the foundations of relationships. A healthy relationship should be a safe space for both partners to be able to share their emotions and feelings, their emotions and thoughts, without being afraid of getting judged or criticized. A 2017 study found that communication early on in a relationship may play a role in future relationship satisfaction, and satisfaction with communication in the beginning of a relationship might result in a more friendly relationship later on. Avoiding difficult discussions might mean that someone has low stress tolerance. An example of this is when people walk away from arguments without hearing you out or listening to what you have to say, or they ignore you for periods of time when the going gets rough. Even healthy relationships have rough patches, but people who can't tolerate difficult emotions might lash out when the going gets tough. Number 5, controlling behavior and excessive jealousy. These 2 things indicate that someone isn't giving you healthy space. If someone is telling you what you should do all the time, policing when you leave your house, when you should come back, who you're with. They might just be suffocating you. If you feel smothered or that you have to constantly change your behavior to appease your partner's jealousy, this might be a bad sign. A 2010 meta-analysis found that as jealousy increased in a relationship quality decreased. A 2014 study found that partner acted possessive in the early stages were more likely to have an unhealthy communication style later on in the relationship. Your partner should be happy that you have a bond with other people instead of keeping you all for themselves. There are more that we can cover, but I'll leave you with one honorable mention. If someone has a bad relationship with their friends or family, Dr. Bear, a licensed clinical psychologist, says a lack of familial relationship or talking poorly about friends and family might be a cause for concern, especially if these things are important to you. You should first try to figure out whether it's actually true. Try to give them the benefit of the doubt before you assume that it's a deal breaker. Assumptions can be dangerous in all of these cases. Like, if their family is abusive, then you know why they don't have a good bond. But in general, if someone can't cultivate a relationship with the people that they've spent their entire life with, then how can you expect them to cultivate a positive, healthy relationship with you? If they're putting down their friends or constantly complaining about their family, then who says that they're going to treat you any different? Those were 5 red flags that you should watch out for, and one honorable mention. Hopefully that was insightful, and hopefully you steer clear of red flags, because some of us have color blindness, and that can be very dangerous. If you want to see more red flags discussed, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week.